I never try to pigeon-point myself into one type of leader. I do love the idea of the literature when it talks about situational leadership. There's a time and place where we need consensus building. I'm a strong believer in that. There's a time and place that I think when you just need to just hit it running. So for example, if we are in a burning building, I don't think, and I know where the exit is, I don't want to wait and ask 5 people, what do you think if we go out this way? You know, I need to lead them out that way. However, if we're thinking about designing a system, designing something different, and I really want to have individuals engaged and involved, that's where we need to really talk about it, because I could force somebody to do it and they're going to do it because I'm their boss, but is their heart and soul is going to be into it? Or am I going to be the type of leader that want to demonstrate why this is necessary and ask for their input and design something that's authentic and holistic? When you look at leaders such as Martin Luther King, for example, I want you to think for a second, what were some of the characteristics that supported his leadership style? If you think about some of the best leaders, they're actually intelligent people, right? They have some type of formalized training or training of some sort, or they have allowed others to deposit in them some kind of way. So there's this thing of deposit. So leaders understand that you have to be knowledgeable and learn, and there's a commitment to continuous learning. The reason why I even mentioned Dr. King, because of that key word in front of his name, doctor. So he had formalized education. You know your history and you've seen some of that. But not everyone has formalized education. There's trainings, there's leadership academies, there's talking to individuals one-on-one. Not everything has to be formal, but you have to understand and respect that wherever you can learn, you're going to try to learn. So I think that's important when we think about leaders.
Sometimes us as young leaders, we struggle with not waiting to be tapped on the shoulder, but adding our voice, even when it's uncomfortable, and even if we fear that what we say won't be adequate enough for the conversation. So what advice can you give us on not to just wait to be tapped on the shoulder to speak, but to add our voice and surpass the fear? Thank you.
When you add your voice, I still believe I want you to also listen first. Part of adding your voice is to say, what contributions am I going to make? Small or major, but I think sometimes we have to be careful not to quickly react. And that is to say, I do believe, and that's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. To sit back and just think and reflect. But don't let fear stopping you to contribute if you know you have something to contribute. I have seen, and I've seen this in leaders that think because they know a certain topic, that they are the first one to want to speak. They're the first ones to have the opinions. And a lot of times, if they would just shut up for a second, they would let others contribute to the conversation and to the narrative and just transform a conversation and allow that space. So I think part of it, it's a two-way streak, right? Part of it as young leaders that you get to contribute, but it's also part of it is what you know as the leaders on this call are doing. They've muted their phones, they're staying quiet, and they're letting you engage in the space and creating that safe space for you.
How can we shine our light onto others to understand the value of learning and in continuing to grow?
I think part of it is to understand where they are. It goes back to understand where they're at in their journey and in their process.